All right, here we go. And we're recording and we're going. Pre-draft, get together. I got PZ up here. He's one of the guys I work with at Eglin. And Shane, who I've never worked with, but has been pretty cool in the league so far. All right, so since we were just talking about new rules, why don't we finish that chat? I was just saying I don't really want more IR spots. We have an 8-man bench that's pretty deep, especially for a 10-team league, which actually might not be that deep for a 10-team league, but I don't know. How do you feel about it, Shane? You want IR spots?
So I'm personally in favor of IR spots. I don't think that we need a lot because, like you mentioned, we got a pretty deep bench. But
Yeah.
without knowing how this season is going to play out, with how players are going to be treated with COVID, what that's all going to entail, yeah, I'm personally in favor of it. I think it's going to save us the potential headache down the road.
Yeah. How many are you thinking?
I think two is probably safe. I mean, that's what we had previously to when you expanded the benches. So
Yeah.
give us the
And
two IR spots back.
then three.
I think it was three.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think two or three. I'd be in favor of, but I think it's just going to keep it from being potentially an issue midway through the season if we start seeing people actually having issues with COVID.
Yeah. And
So that's kind of my thoughts on it.
I was thinking it'd be COVID only too. Like if you break a leg, no, you're not going. It's a COVID only IR spot. And like the moment
Yeah,
he's the moment he's back on the field, like ready to play off COVID, he's back in your bench, and yeah, essentially. What you thinking,
yeah.
PZ? I know that you didn't play in previous years.
So, so my view on the IR spots is with an 8 person bench already, you kind of already have that place to go to get other players at that
Yeah,
point. Like you have unless there's just COVID just runs rampantly through the league, and then at that point, is the league gonna even still go on?
that's how I feel
So
about it.
it's kind of like that situation. Like if you can't, it's either you either gonna be scared of the whole COVID thing, or just like there's no way to really there's no way to really just I can't even explain what I'm trying to say, but
Like
my whole
justify an
thing is
IR, yeah, like because I
yeah
mean,
like
if so many people have COVID, you're gonna need to either suspend a week or have like 15 COVID spots. That's what that's I
yeah
think me and PZ are thinking the same thing.
yeah because it's not like it's not like a non-contact sport. Always got to train together. It's gonna take down a if one team has a COVID outbreak, it's going to be a long, strenuous process. Of maybe that team has a bye, and or and like there's no real way to justify
Yeah,
the IR spots. 'Cause there's not with a 10 player league. That's people's team going to be up to you have your full team, your eight, but backups, and then three additionals. It's just too many players too many players being taken up at in my opinion.
I agree.
It
And
just
not to
it's a
mention,
risk.
our rosters are huge. Truthfully, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10 people in the starting to include the defense and defensive player, and then we have an 8-person bench. I mean, that's 18 people. That's 180 players drafted, and then we have a few extra, in COVID. And then my other thought too is like, all right, oh, okay, so let's say PZ gets Taysom Hill, and Taysom Hill gets coronavirus. I have DeAndre Hopkins, and DeAndre Hopkins gets coronavirus. I want to put DeAndre Hopkins in the coronavirus slot, but I don't think PZ should be able to put Taysom Hill in the coronavirus spot. Like, that's just a free spot for him, you know what I'm saying? That's just my thought on it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. It seemed to me like when we had kind of had the discussion, it was basically a 50-50 split. It seemed like
yeah,
we had essentially what we have here, where we had a split on how we wanted to do it. Honestly, I'm okay with either or. Um, I think there's justifications either way, but yeah, I and to your point, if it does run rampant, yeah, I think the season probably gets canceled at that point.
you might, yeah.
Um, or at a very minimum, yeah, you're going to see games being postponed. So, yeah, I'm not against the idea of just going with the 8-man slots. Um, it's one of those things where would give me the warm and fuzzies, right? But yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with your guys' points.
Well, RR is going to be a loud majority, so I'll probably end up just putting 2 in there just to get him to stop complaining to me.
RR is the one that I was thinking of immediately. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think we should spend the entire time talking about how many COVID spots. It's a silly thing, anyways. We did have a new rule. And now, as we changed the used car salesman, because I love having used car salesmen, we had very, very low trades last year, as at least compared to the other years. But they're always blockbusters, at least. That's what we do. We do blockbuster trades. So the new thing is defensive players and defenses don't count. Tight ends is top 5, and everything else is top 10 at the week that they're traded. So that's quarterback, wide receiver, and running back, top 10. They count for a point. Whenever you trade a player that gives you a point, you're essentially given a raffle ticket. You can get an unlimited amount of raffle tickets. At the end of the year, I'm going to draw 5 people from a hat, or 5 raffle tickets from a hat, and then I'm going to give $10 to each person whose raffle ticket I picked, and you can be picked more than once. I feel like that's a fair way to spread that out. Goes into draft cash. It's not $45 or waived keeper fees, so I mean, hypothetically, I could win all $50, but realistically, I probably won't, right? I mean, that's my thought on it.
Well, and to your point too, if you did that, you traded away a whole lot of players during the year that were within that top range. So
Yeah.
you're probably going to need that $50 next season to be able to make up for what you lost.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, I'd like a few extra bucks, man. I mean, Christian McCaffrey was expensive this year. What do you think about
fair.
UCS? What do you think about UCS, PZ? Yeah, I'm assuming that my league is the greatest league you've ever seen, and you've never had a league that incentivizes you for trading.
Nah, I never been in a league that incentivizes trades. I feel like by having the incentivized trades, it makes the league a little more interesting.
Yeah.
When everybody's later on in the year, when everything starts getting a little stagnant, people start realizing, oh, my team sucks.
Yeah.
It kind of gives them a reason to, I don't know, try to do something with what they got.
Yeah, and the trade deadline is late in this league too. I used to not have a trade deadline. First year, I was like, no, we trading. It's open. The moment the draft starts, we're trading. And then I was like, look, if you want to sell your team out for next year, that kind of idea, we were trying to trade draft cash and all that other stuff. It was difficult to keep track of. We ended up getting rid of draft cash trading. Even though I'd like to figure out a way to do that in like a free market system, it just doesn't work out very well. I can't really figure out the math of why, but I've always liked the incentivizing. I think giving away 5 of those is a good idea. What do you guys think? Should I just give everyone a raffle ticket right at the very beginning of the season with no trades, and then 1 more for each one, or should I only give away raffle tickets for trades, and so some people might not trade at all?
Personally, I would only give them if you're trading. I think that's, when we look at what the point of the used car salesman is to incentivize that trading. So
yeah.
To me, if you don't want to make the trades, that's fine. You're just not going to be a part of that. But if you, like you said, if you look at your team 3/4 of the way through the season, and you're like, man, my team's trash. I got no chance of doing anything with this.
Yeah.
My players are going to be expensive to keep next year. I think it's a good idea to give them a reason to trade those guys and get something in return.
Yeah. Well, what about just doing RB1s or wide receiver 1s instead of top 10? We do. I guess that would be top 10. So never mind.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to a 2 quarterback league. We just kept it at the offensive player. I feel like some quarterback disparity would help out with some of the roster stuff, but we'll just try again for that in a later round. So.
Yeah, it's interesting because actually one of the things I was going to bring up is, to your point of the 2 quarterback league, our league, at least since I've been in and since I've been able to look at the history of the league, it just does not really incentivize the quarterback position.
Nope.
We legitimately treat the quarterback position like it's a 1 quarterback league in terms of even auction values. They don't inflate the same way.
I want to see the Google Doc on it, just to see what the previous values of quarterbacks has been. So 2019, who spent the most? God, no one.
Yeah,
AJ
nobody.
AJ spent 21 on Aaron Rodgers, $8 on Luck, 16 on Lamar. Um, wow, I didn't even realize this. Well, I mean, I guess we can go straight into this next little bit right now, which is RR's draft. He's got different prices than I definitely assumed. His prices make it look uh, like Christian McCaffrey's too expensive. But last year, Christian McCaffrey was pretty in line with the prices we were paying for guys. How you feeling about
Yeah,
spending on stuff there, PZ?
I just gotta test the waters on draft day. Like,
Yeah,
there's no way to really determine what people are going to be willing to do, because there's no matter what mock draft you put up, no matter what, somebody's going to overpay for somebody because they really want them. Somebody's
yeah,
going to play with their heart. Somebody's going to be super cheap and end up with a sorry team. It's just going to happen.
yeah,
I I'm looking at this and it's got Russell Wilson 43. Um, Let me see. I see Russell Wilson 43. Player like Saquon Barkley just 62.
yeah.
Somebody's gonna go all out on a player.
It's me
Somebody's gonna
usually,
say
by the way.
somebody's gonna
it
say
is usually JB.
somebody's gonna say no. I want this guy.
Yeah.
Somebody's ego is gonna step in. And
Actually, we
Guaranteed
could
Cam.
clarify. It's either JB or OM if he's auto drafting.
Yeah,
Just
it's
to
true.
clarify.
It's true. Yeah. OM has auto drafted twice now. One time was because he couldn't make it, and the other time was because his internet went out, and it was just like, all right, well, I mean, OM, and then he gets third place in those years, and he places last whenever he drafts his own team. So,
well, hey,
it's a thing.
maybe it's like a little self sabotage.
Yeah. His team name is Auto Drafts Roll Out, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he should never change that. That has to stay the same always.
Yeah. Well, I know for a fact that Cam Newton's going for more than $11. I know it. It's because I'm gonna pay more than $11 for Cam Newton. I think that his risk reward is pretty good. That's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of players this year that have low risk, high reward.
Yeah.
Like
Well, along the same lines, though, you're talking about, okay, so you'll spend more than $11 for Cam Newton, but nobody's spending $43 on Russell Wilson. Most likely, right? I mean, I don't want to say never, but
Yeah.
based on league history, we're not spending that kind of money on quarterbacks. So
not
I think that's where, when you look at the values like Saquon, let's be honest, I love Saquon. If I can get Saquon for $62, I'll be super psyched. I'm not getting Saquon for $62.
No.
I just go back and look at our history. We're not getting those guys for that kind of price, and I think that's where any of the like auto draft auction things that you can do, they probably value quarterbacks the proper way, but they don't value them the way that our league does. So all of that money gets pushed away from the running back and wide receiver spots, and I think that's why you see those guys going for, Devontae Adams $28 or whatever, or $48, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Which just isn't going to happen. Those guys are going to end up going for considerably more than that.
I mean, even just 2 years ago, Todd Gurley went for $95. We have Le'Veon Bell, 83.
Yep.
Fournette, 70. Christian McCaffrey was 57. I mean, people were way more expensive. Antonio Brown was 90.
Well, and if Christian McCaffrey has another season, even remotely, right, he's not going to do what he did last year. But if he has something close to what he did last year, he's going to be worth way more than $87.
I agree with that. I really do think so. I mean, he was the number one running back. Well, maybe not in just rushing stats alone, but he was like the number 8 wide receiver last year and the number 6 running back or something like that. I mean, all rolled into one player.
Yeah, he was number 1 running back by a wide margin. There wasn't anybody within, I think, like 100 points of him.
Yeah.
So he has a lot of room for regression and still keep in that top spot. That's why I wasn't surprised that you kept him, but I was depressed that you kept him because I would have paid more than $87 for him, for sure.
That was my thought too, man. I mean, I don't know how everyone else feels. I was legitimately torn between Alvin Kamara for 60 and C-Mac for 87 or whatever it was. But I was just like, I'll take C-Mac. I'm kind of coming to the point now, and y'all are going to laugh. I don't think Carolina's going to be that bad this year. Like, I know we play against the Saints, Tom Brady, and the Falcons. But for some reason, a part of me is just like, nah, we're going to be all right. Like,
I think the C-Mac was a good pick.
yeah.
Everybody's talking about him not performing as well as he did last year. How is Kamara going to perform this year? Because he didn't perform that well last year.
Oh, he was
If you
hurt
if you
last
re-
year.
but how you know if he's how you know how he's going to bounce back off that injury?
It's true.
How do you know that that despite the Saints picking up another receiver in Emmanuel Sanders, or having another actual receiver, not just a no name guy that can just run real fast and could take
Yeah.
deep routes that Drew Brees would never throw?
Yeah.
How do you know it's not like his numbers aren't gonna be the same? And you gotta look at the time when the Saints actually ran a real two running back system
Mm.
with Mark Ingram and Kamara.
And Mark
When
Ingram and Reggie.
yeah, but is Kamara gonna play that role as just that guy, or is he gonna be that number two guy who always catches the ball out of the backfield, do everything else, or is he gonna be? Or are they gonna have him run in between the tackles? Because that'll determine how many points he gives you in a PPR league.
It's true. Uh, I don't know, man. I have more faith in Kamara. Like, now that he's not on my team, I'm kind of like, fuck him. But I have a lot. Like, whenever I played that dude in my fantasy team and I was watching the Saints, I was like, Kamara's good. My man looks like Gumby out there getting hurt, but doing like this all over the field and just getting away. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Kamara personally. I thought his second year stats I thought were out of this world, could not be repeated. And it turns out that I was right. I mean, his efficiency has gone down every year. And yeah, he caught 81 passes last year, but what was it, for like 530 yards?
Yeah,
If he's not getting the touchdowns, I mean, you're still going to have a good season out of him, right? He's probably going to get you a top 10 season, but he's not going to probably put up that potentially top 3 season unless he's scoring 15 touchdowns again. And I don't have any faith in him that he can do that kind of that work again. They have too many other weapons. Plus, they got the best wide receiver in the league in Michael Thomas. Exactly. So, by a wide margin.
I don't know when Drew Brees is going to fall off, but it's going to be soon.
Christian McCaffrey is that guy. Kamara is one of the guys.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And there's no way Christian McCaffrey does 1,000 and 1,000 again. But there's a higher chance of Christian McCaffrey doing 1,200 and 800 than there is of Kamara getting 15 touchdowns again. So I mean, I was cool with it, you know. But
yeah.
Let's see, what else did I have up here that I thought was a good idea to chat about? DraftKings. I mean, we're doing that again. Everyone needs to get in on. Oh, by that, I'll put that up right now. Everyone needs to just. Have you signed up for Pick'ems, Eliminator, and DraftKings? Okay.
Yep.
I mean, those are our main money makers. That's how I give away most of the money to the league. Everything else is in the weekly matchups. Let's see.
I can't wait to find new ways to lose to you guys. It's going to be fun.
I don't know, man. I just want to beat J-Dub. Like, I just want to beat the cockiness out of J-Dub. That's all I care about this year. He beat me last year. We've always been kind of up there. This league mix-up is hopefully going to do good, but I'm sure that J-Dub is just going to find 6 running backs that are all $1 each for him, and they're going to be great, and I'm just going to be like, this fucking guy, dude. Every year, man.
Yeah, it is the craziest thing. Every single year, like you said, he manages to find the guys, the diamonds in the rough. You remember last year he wanted Austin Eckler so bad. He was pissed. He was crazy mad at me because I picked up Austin Eckler. And I mean, that one, turned out really stupid good. But
Yeah.
yeah, I remember he was so mad about that last year that because he, it's like, who are you going to play him in front of? You're not playing him in front of Mixon. Turns out, I mean, I actually had to do that because, well, you got Mixon off me, but
I didn't start him, dude. I hated it. I couldn't. He did so bad in the first 8 games. Whenever I picked him up for free off the waiver wire, I was like, "There's no way I can start him. I don't care. He has to have so many good games in a row." And he had like 4 good games in a row, and I was like, maybe. And I think I started him 1 game, and he had like 12 points. I was like, nah. And then he went off again and he finishes like the number 1 running back in the last 8 games, and I didn't start him for any of them. I just had him on my bench the whole time. He just stank too bad from the early season.
yeah.
I think, speaking of J-Dub, I think he's gonna end up trying to draft Justin Herbert is his name or whatever, and as a keeper. I think he's gonna do it. I'm calling him out now on it, just so later on he can be like, I'm not gonna just draft the quarterback, but he has been looking pretty good. And then like secretly, whoever's got Justin Herbert, he's gonna be messaging him, "Hey man, I'll just trade me Justin Herbert. Just trade me." He'll do that, man. He'll talk one way. He tries to play the offsetting game like way too much. But I don't know.
So what you're saying is draft Justin Herbert. That's what I'm hearing.
I'm saying Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert. If we draft those players, Jada will cry. Because every year I get Keenan Allen and he wants him so bad, and I don't trade him. Just pretty much out of spite. Because I don't even like starting Keenan Allen, but, All right, well.
Is anybody going to like starting Keenan Allen this year?
Maybe. There's no one else there.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're going to throw it to Hunter Henry and Austin Eckler, I guess, and that's it.
Yeah, Williams is out for who knows how long. Probably the rest of the season, knowing his injury history. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Did you? Let me check the thing. I don't remember. You kept Miles Sanders? Yeah. How you feeling right now, man?
So I'm not even gonna lie, man. This entire week, I've been wanting to message you and just be like, "Hey, so about my keeper pick," and I only able to change that out.
Are you trying to move that out? I feel like that should be okay.
I'm probably gonna stick with it, right? All the reports are good. I don't love it. I'm not gonna lie. I am not I'm not super excited about that right now, but I'm probably going to keep with it. I'm hoping that the reports are true, that he's not severely injured, and let it ride. If it turns out bad, I guess I'll regret that afterwards. But yeah, the second that injury happened that day, I was just like, wonder if I should message JB right now.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it wasn't just him. It's his starting left tackle, his right guard. They're all going down, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's normal Eagles though. That's every season, so that'll be okay.
Conveniently, they play against the Cowboys twice a year, so he'll run all over them, I'm sure, and the Washington football team. So.
Yeah, you can't call him other name anymore.
Yeah, that's done for. I really wish they would have gone with the Red Tails. That was the cooler one. They had like some awesome helmets already designed for them, but whatever.
They gotta try to negotiate and try to get these copyrights back from all these people who started these little.
I can't believe that worked. I can't believe that dude actually got it.
Yeah, sitting on like 10 different sites, just like, hey, give me my money.
Yeah, but.
I would just send him the Family Guy episode every single day. Just send it to Snyder.
So, we don't have to fill any more time, but I feel like we can fill a lot more time. Whenever I get on this thing, I'm always like, let's do a 10-minute episode, and we'll call it good. But we're already at 24. I feel like we haven't talked about anything yet. So I'll put out a real quick question. Who do you think has the best keeper going into next year?
Oh, let me look.
AJ.
Yeah,
same actually. I'm right there. I think Lamar Jackson for.
Oh, he has Lamar. Yeah, I agree.
For the cost to value.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like the Michael Thomas for 46.
Yeah, Michael Thomas is close. He's close for me there.
The reason I think Lamar Jackson's so good, he can do everything.
He's a game changer, man.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get hurt, like, do y'all remember when Michael Vick had that, what was it, 2007 season, and Matthew Berry said something to the extent of, if Michael Vick does what he did last year, he is 100% worth the number one pick this year.
Yeah.
And it was, I think, like the same thing as with Lamar Jackson. But I don't think there's any way that you can. Everyone gets their secret sauce found out at some point, and I think that Lamar Jackson might get a little exposed this year. I don't know. I don't see him being the runaway number one like he was last year. But
No, and I mean, honestly, I don't know that he has to be. If he goes and he only threw for 3,200 yards last year with 36 touchdowns. If he goes out there and he can throw for closer to, let's say, 3,800 yards, right? His touchdowns are going down. That's not staying at 36.
no,
But if he goes and he throws for 3,800 yards, he's gonna probably run for close to 1,000, right? He's that type of quarterback.
yeah,
If he runs for close to 1,000 with 3,800 yards, I'm
yeah,
I'm
you're
pretty
right.
darn confident if I'm AJ. So I mean, yeah, I agree with you guys. Actually, I think that's the best one.
I didn't even think about the rushing yard total. I just remember seeing his efficiency metrics were absurd, but 1,000 yards rushing, like easily too. Like he had 1,200, I think, right, last year.
Yeah. Yep.
It's next level.
Yeah, he is legitimately. You're getting one of the top quarterbacks, and oh, by the way, you're getting the number 5 running back with him.
Yeah,
Like it's absurd.
yeah. So I was thinking this year something that I liked last year. I don't know how long I had it for, but a quarterback wide receiver stack. I'm thinking about shooting for one of those, man. And I think I know some pretty cheap QB wide receiver stacks that I'm looking at. Um, I mean, if Russell Wilson's going for $43, maybe I don't know any cheap ones, but that's where I would start. I don't know.
Yeah, you do like some Russell Wilson. You got him last year too.
I mean, he's the greatest quarterback to never be selected for MVP. And I mean, it's a pretty short list, but if he's never, I don't understand how he's never received an MVP vote, but I mean, he's finished like either number 2 or number 3 in fantasy football for years and years now, and I've got him for like $9 every season, and I'm pretty cool with it. I think it's the
Yeah,
up and down nature of his weeks, though.
Yeah, and I think for him, their team success was initially right. It was the defense. Nobody had looked at Russell Wilson and was like, oh yeah, that guy. He was the entire reason that team was good. And now that he is literally the entire reason that team's good, it still seems like it's discounted. People still are like, yeah, but I mean, he's 5'11". Can he really be that good?
I
It's a
don't know.
weird it's a weird dichotomy with the way people look at Wilson, because you're right. He is one of the best quarterbacks to not even really be talked about in that regard.
I think DK Metcalf's 18 abdominal muscles disagree with you saying that Russell Wilson is the only person carrying that team. But uh,
We'll see.
how do you feel about QB wide receiver stack there, PZ? I mean, do you do it? Like, have you seen other people do it? I think it's
Nah,
in a league as
I
open as ours, it could be possible. That's
I haven't done it in the league. Most leagues I've been in just standard snake leagues.
yeah.
Try to make money quick as possible.
I hate them, man. I
That's
can't. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think.
can't go back to the Snake League.
I don't think I could, like, because you remember me bringing this up at work, right? And I'm like talking about like
yeah.
we should do a work league. We'll do auction 2 quarterback, and everybody's like, ugh, ugh. And I'm like, Snake is
A,
awful.
a lot. It takes the snake league. It's easier. It's easier to draft than to game plan things like that.
Yeah,
The skill gap is not as large as an auction
that's
league
what I was gonna say.
because
It's easier to be bad and win.
yeah, in a snake league because what's the risk? The all your risk is just where you fall and where you fall in the draft.
Yeah, and you just select best available, and you'd be fine. And
Yep.
9 times out of 10. But I don't know.
Just a little note on the quarterback wide receiver stack. So if you actually look at the numbers, there's actually a couple really good writers that look into this. it actually does not really matter one way or another.
Diversifying or
The QB,
stacking?
yep, doesn't change your team points really in any way, shape, or form.
Is that
Which
overall
is
points or is that
surprising.
by week points? Because I feel like your overall points would be the same, obviously, but your weekly
Yeah.
booms would be like up there. You know what I'm saying?
And that's a good question. I actually don't know the answer to that. I know the ones that I've looked at have been looking at like the yearly stacks. But that'd be a good question. When you do have those big weeks, do you actually see that correspond for the wide receiver? So I don't actually know the answer to that.
Like let's take FanDuel for example, right? If you stack in FanDuel and you boom, you're gonna win. Like
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, that's
care
fair.
about next week, you know. But that's how I feel about it. How often have you done FanDuel before, PZ?
No.
No. I mean it's not too bad. You're given like 60 grand, I think, or 50 grand, and all the
Hmm.
players have an allocated price based on recent performance, name brand value, and like Vegas expectations and stuff like that. And you just have to fill out an entire roster, and you have to fill it. You can't like leave a position empty. And there's baseline values for certain positions. So like defenses, the lowest defense you can get is like 1,600. The lowest you can get a tight end for is like 2,500. So no matter what, you're gonna have to spend money on a position. It ends up being pretty cool. We end up getting some like really different teams, and it's just seeing like who can find the value where, and then start Patrick Mahomes at quarterback because he's gonna be 10 grand, and you're spending most of your money on one guy, and it's like, yeah. Christian
Hmm.
McCaffrey I know is 10,600 right now. I think I actually have a lineup with him in it because I've already done my lineup.
Yeah, I already set mine up too. Actually,
Yeah, I felt really good about my lineup actually. Let's
I
see.
honestly don't even remember who I had in mind.
Let
I'm
me set
pull,
mine up real quick.
I'm pulling it up right now. Oh, this lineup is nice. Except, isn't Jalen Rager hurt now?
No, he's actually, I think, the only healthy wide receiver.
Oh, I mean, no, not that guy. No, not an incredible value at all right now. Yeah,
Yeah, him and Zach Ertz. That's it.
yeah. I definitely don't have Zach Ertz in there too. Okay, I need to change my lineup. Goodness, it's gonna be bad. Um, God. You know what, man? You know what's crazy is I have no idea who I'm gonna draft as an IDP this year. Luke's retired, so
True. Yeah, you don't have Luke to spend $12 on.
yeah. I mean, maybe I'll just spend all my money on Aaron Donald and hope that he like he kills people, like literally kills and murders people on the field. I don't know.
Did you see that they gave him an off day the other day, and McVay said it
Yeah.
was so that he could give the offensive line a chance?
Yeah, I saw that. Sean McVay said he has to have the offensive line win a few times so they're confident going into the first game. I
That was too good.
I was thinking about it. Whenever he said that, like, have y'all ever played like Madden and done like franchise mode and like just done it out for a long time?
Hmm.
In those games, he sets a new record for sacks every single season. Like I'm
Yeah.
simming like Madden 20 or something like that out seasons, and like one season he had like 43 sacks, and I was like, it's not even like close to possible. Like the most sacks right now is 23 and a half, I think, by JJ.
22 and a half.
Okay, 22. I mean, and yeah, he,
Oh,
he just goes
you know what?
absurd.
Maybe it is 23 and a half now.
But I don't know, man. Who's
Yeah, no. That,
what's up?
who's what?
Oh, I was gonna ask you to give away some draft strategy, dude. Usually I like to talk about this kind of stuff and see what other people are cooking.
So, all right. So
Have
you
you
listen to
allocated
fantasy
money
football.
yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I need to do that tonight.
So I don't really. Yeah, I'm not the person that goes in there and says like, all right, I've got to have these dudes. Because the reality is, usually when I do that, I end up being disappointed in my team.
Yeah,
So I usually will just look at it and say, okay, I want to go in there and I want to find this value, and if I've got to change it up, then I can change it up, and I'm not disappointed in my team when I leave the draft. That's my biggest goal is when I leave the draft, feel good about my team.
yeah,
So yeah, I don't typically go in there and say like, hey, I have to spend $120 on running backs because inevitably, if I go and blow, to your point, yeah, $90 on Saquon, I'm probably blowing through my $120 real quick on running backs.
I mean,
So
I set up last year. I set up a money allocation. I liked how it turned out. But what's your what you gonna what are you? I mean, I know you've told me you're not gonna tell me because you don't want to get sniped, PZ. But you got anything cooking over there?
I'm looking at when I go into the draft, I'm really looking at each team and how they're going to actually use their players. Thinking about the coaching style, things like that.
Yeah.
You're going to see me pick up some players. You're like, why is he even picking up this player right now?
Yeah.
That's what you're going to see. You're gonna see me pick up players that are like, who is this guy?
Like Taysom
Like
Hill.
that's nah. You won't see Taysom Hill. You will not see Taysom Hill.
Okay.
Like for example, me picking Godwin.
Yeah. I liked it. It's a good pick.
But is Godwin gonna actually get those touchdowns he got last year?
Yeah.
Is Tom Brady gonna launch the ball like Jameis Winston was launching the ball with his eyes closed?
If Godwin plays in the slot this year, yes.
Yeah, so my feeling is actually I feel the same. I think Godwin's the safer pick out of the two because Godwin's going to be the guy that, like JB said, plays in the slot. And if and when Brady's arm starts degrading, which I think we already saw a little bit of last year, he's not going to be able to throw those 40-yard bombs like you were saying. I mean, Jameis, that's all he was doing last year was just throwing it up to his guys.
And his eyes weren't closed. He was legally blind. His two different things. It's fucked up as you would say. I mean,
he's a saint now, so.
Yeah, you're right. And
the Godwin pick did surprise me, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Godwin pick surprised me. I actually thought it was a good pick, but when I was looking at him, I wasn't even thinking that he would end up being one of the picks. So
yeah, I just breezed right over him. I was like, I looked at Kamara and I thought that was the only value left, but then I was wrong. Was Kamara your second player?
No, because I know I was gonna get him.
But I mean, even though you couldn't have got, I mean, you can't get Christian McCaffrey, but you still think that he's one of the top players.
Yeah, I know if I could have my choice was between I looked at Godwin, I looked at Godwin, and I looked at running backs. I was like, do I want to get a running back or do I want?
He's keeping it close to the chest, man.
Or do I want to? I don't want to. I'm telling you're gonna be surprised when you see me draft.
I don't know if I
You'll
will,
be like,
man.
why? You will.
Nobody surprises me as much as like OM or J-Dub somehow getting all the running backs he wants.
I always include rookies too.
Same.
I take the risk.
And I still think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is that what you're about to say, Shane?
Absolutely not. No.
So I was actually going to ask the question though. Does the offseason, the way that it's played out, change your guys' opinions on rookies this year? Because they're not going to have the same opportunity to get that knowledge level up the way that they have in the past. And I mean, rookies as a whole kind of struggle anyhow, right? So has this changed your guys' opinions on rookies at all?
Okay, go ahead.
I think by there being so little information, so little time for them to really develop, no preseason, you don't really have like that. The rookies are gonna be a real risk, and that's why I think I'm gonna be able to get them cheap, and I'm willing to take that risk. And I think a lot of people are gonna be scared to take that risk. And
I think I agree with a lot of rookies. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the one that sticks out to me that, yeah, he's probably going to go for a king's ransom. More than I'm probably going to be willing to pay.
Look, if I can get Clyde Edwards for like $65, I have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Christian McCaffrey, and then 3 cheap wide receivers and 2 cheap quarterbacks. My team is going to look disgusting. Because wide receivers, like, okay, I'll throw out a wide receiver right now. How much are you going to draft him for? Terry McLaurin.
So for me, I'm not a huge Terry McLaurin fan. $12 would probably be my bid. And I understand. I know. So, right, like I understand. I'm probably lower on him than a lot of people are, but outside of the fact that he's the only guy left in Washington, I do not care for him as a player. I don't think that he's a particularly good wide receiver.
I mean, I'm gonna
Why,
draft.
why receivers also depend on the quarterback.
It's true. It's
It's a
true.
very dependent position.
And oh boy, it didn't look that great last year. But I mean, it's year 2, and that's all he can throw to. I mean, you can't be a quarterback in the NFL and not throw like 3,500 yards. So they got to go somewhere. That's I don't know, man.
Well, and I mean, that's one of his college teammates too. So if he's going to, yeah, yeah. So they played at Ohio State together. So I mean, if he puts up a big year, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just not willing to put up very much money to bet on it.
And I won't have to.
You probably won't. I bet you don't have to put up much more than that.
Yeah, and like, all right. I mean, I'm literally just spitballing here, thinking of names that I could do with like, if I spent $200 on running backs right now, I could do Terry McLaurin, Emmanuel Sanders, and Debo Samuel or something like that. Like, just 3.
Oh yeah.
And spend like $40 on wide receivers, maybe. I'm just saying, like that's some cheap stuff. I think it would work. I don't know. Have you allocated money yet, PZ, or you just going with it?
I'm going with it.
All right.
Come draft day. I have no
Tomorrow.
idea how you. I have no idea how everyone drafts. Like I can sit here and look, but I don't know personality types. I don't know who's who. So I could be putting up numbers and then tomorrow I see the numbers. I'm like, I can throw that paper away because
Yeah, it's true. That's what happened last year with tight ends.
Yeah.
We
just understand the entire time that you're drafting, J-Dub is going to be talking shit to you. So
oh yeah,
as long as you
100%.
I'm not pressed about that.
I mean,
he'll be trying to shake you off your game.
Definitely. And he'll oh god, every year with J-Dub, he'll know there's a player I like, and he'll just hit that bid now. $1 extra. Bop. 9 more seconds on the clock. Bop. And I'll be like, J-Dub, I'm paying for this dude. Bop. And I'm just like, you about to get him, J-Dub. Bop. Oh, every year with that man. I hate him. I don't, but I do.
How is the draft order going?
I think I might just randomize it, but I mean, we could just do a longest dick challenge and go by that, you know. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. Like the draft order in an auction draft means nothing to me. What did we do first year? We did March Madness brackets. I wanted to do like a PGA Tour thing, like you pick your winner or something like that. But I mean, it doesn't matter to me at all, truthfully. So I could care less.
Yeah, same.
But I think we need to cut it, man. It's been 43 minutes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean these things fly by. I'm gonna get y'all at some point this year for a weekly recap. PZ, looks like you got quite the setup. Shane, you looks like you got a quiet room as well. So hopefully I can count on you guys for that one. And good luck tomorrow. I think. What do y'all think? Should we do another YouTube video of the whole draft tomorrow? Just do a 4-hour YouTube video of the draft and get as many people in video as possible, or what?
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah. If we do that tomorrow, I'm gonna have the full setup, the microphone, everything, like I'm on.
Okay, you got like the
I already
Twitch
have
streamer?
The full setup.
Oh, he's a Twitch streamer.
Shit.
I already have the full setup.
What are you streaming on Twitch, man? You streaming Warzone?
A little bit. I haven't really been playing recently, so.
Me neither.
But I was doing a little bit of Warzone, a little bit of 2K, whatever I'm playing.
Okay. Well, dang. I'm gonna go allocate some money, put these kids to bed. But I'm glad you guys got on. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Sounds
see you
good,
tomorrow.
bud.
All right, boys. We'll talk to you guys later.
Take it easy, guys.